This is a video for when you're feeling like you're completely hard stuck. You've been the same rank for quite some time now, and for some reason, nothing is working. There are actually 8 methods that I've used myself and multiple pros and coaches have used over the years to unstuck themselves and start climbing once again. Once you've hit that plateau, it can feel like literally nothing is going to get you past it, but having the right strategy to break past those points and start climbing again can make all of the difference. Some of these you may have already tried, and some of them maybe not, but my hope is that by the end of this video, you'll have a new strategy to approach your ranked game and start climbing today. Now, the first method is tried and true, and it just works super well. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's called the best of 3 method. And to do it correctly, all you need to do is limit yourself to 3 matches a day. One of the biggest culprits of people being hard stuck has to do with tilt queuing and spamming games when they're not playing at their peak. Especially if you're plateaued, that means that you're probably playing at the highest rank that you've ever been at, but you still can't seem to climb. If you're at the highest rank you've ever been at, then it's very important that when you play, you are playing at your best. By limiting the amount of matches that you play in a day to just 3 games, you will likely hit your stride late in the first game and then carry that energy over to the second and third game before suffering any fatigue. Fatigue is a huge factor that comes into play over long play sessions for everybody. And the worst part is that it can be kind of hard to detect. You'll slowly just start to play worse or make decisions that you wouldn't normally make or miss shots that you wouldn't normally miss. What the best of 3 method does is it turns every day into a little tournament match where you get the chance to fight your way through a little gauntlet and end your day feeling either pretty good or at the very least not that bad. Now, you contrast this with just queuing as many games as you want in a day, it is very likely that you're going to go on win streaks some days and lost streaks others. Those lost streaks do not feel good and can be a major factor in people experiencing burnout in Valorant. Your goal is to avoid this entirely and keep your play sessions healthy and productive. And while this video is everything that you'll need to start climbing again, if you are pretty new to the game, our brand new beginner course on our site really continues your journey to take those same concepts taught by pros and turn them into bite-sized pieces that you'll actually understand from day one. There are no confusing terms, no assuming that you just know things, just practical advice that you can use from your very first game. Which also works as the perfect entry point to all of our other amazing content on the site as well, giving you a clear path to improve as you rapidly become more comfortable in the game. Now, there's a reason that SkillCapped has become the only premium instructional resource in the scene. We invest and we believe in our content. So much so that we even back it up with 2 guarantees. First, we give you 2 full weeks to explore all the things that we have to offer, and if it's not for you, you get a full refund, no questions asked. Now, our second guarantee is that you will climb at least 5 divisions, or again, you get every single penny back, no questions asked. You've got everything to gain and literally nothing to lose. So get started by using that beginner discount link in the description below. And anyways, let's get back into the video. Now, a similar strategy to the best of 3 that I've implemented myself allows you to play a lot more matches, but instead it sets a hard cutoff after 2 losses in a row. This is the 2 losses strat, and basically just means if I lose twice in a row, I am done for the day. Now, this still means that you can win 8 games in a row and keep going, which is awesome and allows you to gain a ton of RR in a day. Sometimes you're just shooting and 3 games doesn't feel like enough. Sometimes you just want to keep going. But at most, this strategy only lets you lose around 40 RR in a day, which again, the main benefit of this is that it prevents you from tilt queuing. Now, the bad part of this strat as well is that if you lose 2 games in a row instantly, your play session can be cut off pretty immediately. It's kind of just the luck of the draw. Some days you'll play more and some days you'll play less, but I find this is a great way to keep yourself on track and climbing throughout a season. Now, this works best if you have other games to play or other things to spend your time on, just in case you end up hopping off of the game a little bit early. Now again, tilt queuing is the biggest cause of keeping players down in ranked, since it could set them back sometimes hundreds of RR for simply no reason other than they're just not playing their best. So having a strategy to combat this is really effective. Now, this next strategy is pretty controversial, but I think it's probably one of the most effective ways to climb in any game, and that is leaving your duo behind. Now, hear me out, these are just options, you don't have to do these, but chances are your duo might suck. It might not even feel like they suck. They might even be in the short term better than you, but that doesn't mean they're going to improve at the same pace that you will. Lots of players end up hard stuck for literally years, never climbing out of the rank that they're in. To put it bluntly, if you are trying to climb, those players are not the ones that you want to queue with. Time has shown that they just don't have it in them. And maybe you watch dozens of guides like this. You're watching VCT, keeping up with the meta and trying to get better every single day. And your duo is drinking 5 monsters and then he hops into ranked without a warm-up. You guys are not putting in the same amount of effort, and you might find that you climb a lot faster from just playing solo. Now, I know the logic of adding 1 player who won't go double negative on your team feels like it'll be helpful, but think of it this way. Your friend is not special. He's in gold or plat or silver just like every other player there. If you stop playing with him, what are you going to get? You guessed it, you're going to get another plat, gold, or silver player. They're all in the same rank. The only thing that is going to change is you won't have to carry another Hardstuck player. Listen, I know this doesn't apply to everyone. There are some really healthy duos out there that play super well together and have fun doing it. But I've also seen some really unhealthy duos as well. I personally am a fan of solo queuing. I think it is much easier to climb, but it's your call on if this applies to you. Now, if you really want to rank up, one of the best strategies that you can implement is just to invest in yourself. Don't think about climbing, think about what you can do to make yourself a better player. The climbing part will come along with this by improving your play naturally. One of the best ways to do this is to develop an aim training routine and stick to it. We offer up a routine of our own in our Calm Aim course that is easy enough to do in around 15 minutes, and it focuses on all of the core aiming principles that you'll need to climb. But finding really anything to consistently focus on your mechanics is going to take you super far. Don't even worry about the actual climbing part of the game, just try to improve your mechanics. This is the age-old, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey strategy. Take it day by day, practice your routine, and eventually you'll just outpace everybody in your rank. Now, something that can be really beneficial if you've been Hardstuck for a while can simply be getting an extra set of eyes on your gameplay. When you're learning the game, sometimes you're just not going to know things, and that is totally fine. But all of the VOD review in the world probably won't just magically let you know the things that somebody with years of experience might know in the game. You might be making dozens of simple mistakes that are easily fixed, that are really hard to notice by just looking at your games yourself. Now, finding a coach to look at your gameplay and ask questions to can be really valuable. In our Discord, we help SkillCapped members by taking a look at their gameplay to provide feedback in their matches, and for many people, this is a great way to get unstuck and start climbing again. Many people think of the game in a completely different way, and even some Radiant players will notice things that others won't. Getting a fresh set of eyes at any rank can be really valuable. Now, the next two strategies are relatively similar. This one is not suggested for the weak, but it's something that I've definitely used myself. And that's just riding it out, baby. This one takes a lot of patience, and you kind of have to not care about your rank. But if you're in a slump and you just can't rank up, sometimes just riding it out and knowing it'll get better eventually is the easiest way to get through it. Now, this especially works if you don't want to stop playing the game, but you are losing a lot for the time being. Keep in mind that this definitely plays into tilt queuing. It's not like you're dodging it with the strat, you are just playing during the tilt. Now, if you get really angry, then this strat probably isn't for you, but if you are okay with losing a bit of RR, and by a bit, I can mean a lot, and you just want to play the game and improve, this isn't terrible. You're basically prioritizing your improvement in the long term over gaining RR in the short term. You're probably going to end up 1, 2, maybe 3 divisions lower than you started. But hey, that's just the price of playing while you're tilted. Again, to re-articulate this, it is a strategy that is not for the weak. You are going to set yourself back knowing that you will climb back up. Now, a pretty similar one is what we are calling the long con, which unlike riding it out, we're just not going to think about our rank at all. We may have a goal that we're trying to reach, but it's the journey that matters. Losing a bit of RR in the short term just doesn't matter to us. We are playing the long game. You may still take a break if you're losing a lot, maybe log in the next day to queue again, but you're not going to be fixating on your losses. People lose games, and it may surprise you to hear that if you have a 55% win rate, you're climbing. If you have a 51% win rate, you are climbing, in fact. With those statistics, all you really need to do is play the long game and keep it up, knowing that you will climb. Finally, though, the last method of getting unstuck, a bit more controversial, is 5 stacking. Now listen, a lot of people will hate on this and they will say that you don't deserve your rank if you 5 stack. But the reality is it's a video game, and if you want to climb by playing with your friends, do it. Now this can come with its own challenges. Oftentimes 5 stacks have a pretty steep skill discrepancy, so carrying somebody worse than you can be a little bit more difficult. Also, a lot of people like to smurf in 5 stacks, which can make it a little bit more difficult to win if you don't have a solid group. But I have 5 stacked with friends before plenty of times, and a bunch of my friends, that is actually the only way that they really play the game, which is awesome. Now, obviously, don't go abusing the system and have 2 immortals queuing with 3 irons on their ults. That is a pretty bad abuse of the system, but find some players in your rank and give it a shot. In my opinion, the game is meant to be played with a coordinated team anyway, so this can revitalize a lot of your love for the game if you're feeling down or hardstuck lately. Either way, if you are truly serious about improving at Valorant, check out that link in the description below to take advantage of our exclusive discount code to skillcapped.com today. Now, if you don't climb at least 5 divisions using our service, you are going to get your money back. There are no questions asked, meaning that you have absolutely everything to gain and nothing to lose. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will catch you in the next one.